Detroit 10 through and through. Welcome back. Steve here. I had to take a couple days off. If you guys can't tell, updated some audio, updated some video. Hopefully you guys notice the difference. I take this very serious. If I say I'm going to put on a professional type of show, I got to look professional, sound professional, and act professional. I think I do at least 2 out of 3. I'll let you guys decide which ones it is. And hopefully I'm not blasting your eardrums out with this audio. It's been taking me a while to get it set up. Technology, not exactly your boy's thing, but what we can do here is talk Detroit Lions football. I'm going to share a video or a picture for you guys real quick, and we're going to get into it. This is a picture from last year's starting defensive backfield. As you can see, last year we were putting out Cam Sutton, Jerry Jacobs, Kirby Joseph, CJ Gardner-Johnson, and Brian Branch. Obviously, Cam Sutton back with the Steelers after his hiatus, allegedly. Jerry Jacobs, not on the team anymore. Kirby Joseph, still with us. CJ Gardner-Johnson moved on to Philly after they bashed him and made fun of him for getting hurt. Hey, whatever. Thoughts and prayers. Good luck to you. Brian Branch, our dog that we're going to be getting into here. And now let's see who we're going to be rolling out there week 1. Like I said, Cam Sutton gone. Carlton Davis has taken his spot. Jerry Jacobs gone. Terrion Arnold projected to take his spot. I think those are the 2 biggest pieces right there for us. Like I've been saying all offseason, our defense is essentially brand new in the terms of only Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, and Ife Melifonwu are really like the returning pieces. And they're all 3 relatively young. Like Brian Branch was a rookie last year, played mostly nickel. So he's moving to a quote unquote new position, not exactly a new position, but in the NFL it is for him. That's primarily what he played in college. Ife Melifonwu didn't play a lot of games last year, didn't really come on strong until the second half of the season. So a lot of people are projecting him to have a big year. And then Carlton Davis, who we traded for, who's been that guy that is in talking and saying all the right things in interviews about how he's locking down number ones, and you can count on me to take away half the side of the field. And man, I really hope he's right, because this defense is going to be filthy. And I saw something, I don't know if it was from PFF or the 33rd team, like I just showed you guys there, saying that the Detroit Lions had a top 10 secondary. I'm not here to knock it. I'm not here to bash it, because obviously that's what I want the Detroit Lions to have. You can't be number 1 without being in the top 10. Do I think we're the best secondary in the NFL? I think on paper we have the potential, and I have to be careful because I don't want to misconstrue my words or say something out of context. On paper, I cannot look at another team like the Eagles, the Niners, who have depth like we have at the secondary position. And again, what my concern is and what's holding me back from calling them the best is limited playing time. We really haven't seen all of these guys on the field together. And I didn't even mention, I don't know if I mentioned Ennis Rakestraw and Amik Robertson. Like, our secondary is completely revamped, minus those safeties that I was talking about. So where will we rank in the NFL? I hope we're in the top 10, and I think we will be. I think we will be because I think our defensive line is going to really contribute to our secondary. My motto, my philosophy is it doesn't matter how good or how bad your secondary is. If you don't have a pass rush in the NFL today, these quarterbacks have all day to throw. You can't touch the receivers. It's hard to jam them off the line. The secondary is really kind of handcuffed by a lot of NFL rules. So how do you kind of counter that? Put the quarterback on his ass, make him run for his life, make him as uncomfortable as possible. You do that with the defensive line. So can our secondary be in that top 10? Yes. If it is, and I saw another thing about and I don't want to get fully into the defensive line, that our defensive line is also in the top 10. Guys, this is what we have been talking about all off season, is getting this defense on par with last year's offense. I've told you guys this story. I've told it a million times. I think at one point last year, very early, we were saying, myself personally, and maybe a lot of you can relate with this, is we were confident the Detroit Lions were going to win. Like, we showed up week 1 against the Chiefs, and we were confident we were going to win that game. It was going to be a tough game, but we did. We went in there, knocked off their Super Bowl celebration. We gained confidence as a team coming in on Sundays. I'd be at the tailgate saying, man, hey, Detroit Lions are going to win today. It kind of shifted into the Detroit Lions are going to win today if the defense plays good. I think we have taken out that question. I don't think we have to question anymore of if this defense plays good. I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be top 10 across the board, offensively, defensively. Our defense last year, I think we gave up like 69 plays over 20 yards. We led the NFL in that. That's gone. That's done. Better defensive line, better secondary. We're not going to see those big 20-yard plays anymore. At one point, we were giving up like 330 passing yards late in the season when we were getting shredded by like CD Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp in the playoffs. Like we got torched, but we were going against some really, really, really good top end receivers with some good quarterbacks. And say what you want about Baker Mayfield. He had a career year. I always kind of liked Baker Mayfield. He's always had a little bit of my respect, not so much when he was with Cleveland, but I'm glad he moved on and he's got a good thing going in Tampa. So we played some pretty good quarterbacks too. Again, say what you want about Dak Prescott. He's a top-ish quarterback. He's right there on that fringe, and CD Lamb's one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL. So it's expected to get torched when we have, like I put up that picture, when we have a Cam Sutton, a Jerry Jacobs, a Kendall Vildor. CJ Gardner-Johnson was technically playing a lot at the end of the season, but he wasn't fully in football shape. Emmanuel Mosley is a guy that we're all very, very hopeful for this year. Tore his ACL, came back. I can't remember which game it was. I think he played like 3 snaps, tore his other ACL. Heart broke for him. I know that guy put in a lot of work. I follow him on Twitter or X or whatever you guys want to call it, Instagram. And I saw all the offseason stuff that he was putting in. So Emmanuel Mosley is another guy that I think once he's fully healthy, I don't know when that will be. I guess maybe we'll hear something around training camp when that will be, and we'll have a little bit more of an update. But our secondary, let me ask you guys this and leave it in the comments. Are we a top 10 secondary? And for me, I try to really put my bias aside. Obviously, I'm a diehard Lions fan, season ticket holder. Don't miss a game until this year. We can't make the Buffalo game. We'll be on vacation. But I don't miss games. Having that confidence in my secondary, I'm trying to be unbiased and say, on paper, guys, I think we are loaded. I think we can be in that mix for top 10. It's tough, man, because it is the NFL. There's a lot of other good teams out there. Like, they might not have as complete of a roster as we do, but they might have a good secondary. So if that's what we're really just talking about, like we could just throw out a team and say, man, like they don't have a good quarterback or running back on offensive line, but they have a good secondary. You have to look at that kind of stuff. And no one really jumps off me off the paper. Like, I don't, off the top of my head, who's really competing with it? Is it the Jets? Like, they're loaded on defense, but is it just Sauce Gardner and a couple other guys they have that I like? I don't know. To me personally, gun to my head, if I have to answer this question, yes, the Detroit Lions have a top 10 secondary, and that is a scary thought considering we were ranking mostly in the high teens or low 20s in a lot of defensive stats in the passing game. It wasn't good. Like I told you guys, 330 passing yards. We gave up like 28 touchdowns, I think, off the top of my head. I did an episode on this a couple weeks ago. I can't remember the exact stats, but we got shredded. We gave up some points. We gave up some yards. But on the same token, a lot of times we bend, but we didn't break. We would give up, like 60 yards and we would hold teams to a field goal or stop them on 4th down or something like that. So our defense has that grit. We have that mentality of bend, but don't break. And I've said it in some pregame episodes or some postgame episodes last year. Like, I don't give a shit if the defense gets shredded. I care about how many points we're giving up. Like, I'm just throwing out the 330 yards because it's a stat. But if we can get that points per game down to around, it was at 23, I believe, at the end of the season. If we can get that somewhere down around 17 and a half, it's not crazy. Someone called me crazy for saying that. It's 2 field goals I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting rid of 2 field goals or 1 touchdown per game, however way you want to look at it, 6 points. It's not absurd. If this defense is forcing turnovers, giving our offense the ball more, look out, because our offense is going to be in the conversation for top 2. Like, that's not even a question mark. So, guys, leave it in the comments down below. Let me know how you feel about this revamped secondary, this defensive line helping out that secondary. Leave it in the comments. Stick around. I'll be back later with another show, guys.